I had a comic come to me who's a arena level comic who came to me who I actually really respect and think is really good. And they were like, look, I use writers when I'm putting my stand-up together. Do you want to write with me for me next tour? And I said no. I think he was a bit surprised when I said no. But I was like, no. And he was like, oh, really? And I was like, to be honest with you, like, I'm trying to catch you up. And if I write a good bit, I fucking want it.
Right. Like, well, I got to admit, like, writing for the Jim Jeffries show, there's a couple times where I wrote a bit, which I knew would work in my stand-up. And sometimes you fight for a bit to get it on the show, but sometimes when I knew like, oh, I'd like to have this, and if the head writer didn't make the first, I'm like, I'm not fighting to get that in the show, and I'm straight out to I'll do one tonight for you. That I'm still like, oh, I love that this didn't make it into the show because it's just become mine. It's become my routine. Yeah. So you get a little bit of that, but on the other, conversely, there are times where you're writing something, you're like you were saying, it would be sounding better in Lee Evans's voice, so every now and then you get those, and that's when you can really push that onto
I'd have done that as a bit of a one-off and a trick. Like, there's very few comics, like I know the kind of guys we're talking about, the household names in this country. I like them all, I think the sound, but I want to all the best stuff I have. If I spent too much time on that, I'd be like, why am I not spending time on my stuff? I just didn't want to do it. If I ever had a bit that I was like, and a comic was like, can I buy that? I'd be like, okay. Like, if I wasn't that ass. But, like, if I love a bit, I'm like, oh, no. Yeah. You're not having first refusal on my best idea in weeks. So Scott Bennett, my mate Scott Bennett, who's been on, he writes for other comics, and I've seen him after he's been in a writer's room for a week. Like, a few years ago, we were both like, we really need to step it up. And I was like, I'm going podcasting. Really feel that's where I can go. And he was like, I'm going writing. I really want to develop that. And he's done really well, and we've done what we've done. And I've gigged with him on the Saturday after he's done a week in, like he's been writing with Jason Cook and Chris Ramsey. And he's trying, exactly like you said, he's like, got some new bits that got rejected. I reckon they're going to work. And they work because they're topical. Like, I'm not a big fan of topical comedy because for me, like that, my writing process doesn't happen that quickly. And then all of a sudden you've got a joke that works, and then it just looks lame in 2 months. And there's nothing worse than the comedian who's like, so who remembers the London Olympics? You're like, it was a long time ago, dickhead. Yeah. But if you've genuinely written a joke that week that's a fucking zinger, it's great. You look like a brilliant comic. But it would be like giving kids up. It would be like a surrogate fucking parent. What do they call it when you...
Surrogate?
Yeah.
How long do you reckon COVID's got? How's that?
I think COVID is...
Do you reckon it's done?
I think you have to have an exceptional joke, and I think we are nearing the end to the point where people are just
I hate the fact that the special I've got coming out in September has got any sort of reference to COVID in it.
Yeah. I only do my COVID jokes now if somebody coughs. then that's my end. But if not, I'm taking us out of that world. We're just going to do some stand-up.
The new stuff I'm going to start doing in a couple of weeks, I will pretend the pandemic never happened.
I think that's... The one who were like, hey, did you have a good lockdown? You're like, oh, okay, we're out of that now. We're out of that.
Some acts in 5 years, it will still be leaning on it though. 100%. I bet you.
Oh. Yeah, of course you will. Because there's some absolute lazy shite. That's why.
Is anybody still doing foot and mouth disease? I lived
they
here
are,
for
but
that
they now
shit.
make it COVID.
When was that? That was like 2003 or some shit, wasn't it? Foot and mouth. Remember that? We had Vinegar Pet. Look, I'm doing it now.
My school trip to Colomendy got cancelled because of foot and mouth disease. That's how long ago it was.
When I was on holiday, I went on holiday 2-3 weeks ago. When there's a little, I needed a book. There was 50 Shades of Grey on the...
Should have asked me, I've got loads.
You should have written one for me, just like send it over in the WhatsApp group. Like when holidaymakers have left a book behind and then they just leave them on a little shelf, like a little fucking hotel library. There was 50 Shades of Grey, and I was so tempted to get it, pretend I was reading it and be like, I can't wait to write some like really lazy fucking material about this and perform it in 2016 and 17, because there's like eras of hacky bits. Right. And like foot and mouth, COVID now. When 50 Shades of Grey came out, the amount, you'd be at a comedy club and like, I don't know, like 50 Shades of Grey, like, oh fuck. And that got replaced by Brexit. Yeah. And before that, it was Fritzl.
I think there
There's
was an
something
eruption
about
of fan
Fritzl.
porn or whatever, fan fantasy, scripted porn between characters and stuff all around 50 Shades of Grey as well.
But
Everybody was breaking
there's
that stuff.
there's certain things that just get in comedians' heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And-
there's so much to write about though. COVID was so
But
broad.
it gets dull so fucking
because
quick, doesn't it?
it's like Twitter. The joke gets rammed and then it's done, isn't it?
Yeah,
Quick.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, COVID is Romeo done.
Yeah, but even if it comes back, I'm not writing jokes about it. You know, if they're like, oh, it's bad again, so I'll get back inside when I come out.
It'd be hilarious
I know, I heard,
if they did that again,
If they try to do it again.